Happy Tuesday. We are back with another episode of the Sky Society podcast. And today I do not have a guest. It is just going to be you and me. And it's going to be a quick episode where we go over the question I probably get asked the most, or just the issue that people come to me all the time for, which is scam marketing jobs. Jobs that seem like they're marketing, but are typically disguised as sales, or there's some type of scam in there. And I'm going to go over how to identify these scam jobs so you don't waste your time interviewing or accepting a job that isn't actually what it was marketed to be. So I'm going to go ahead and dive into that. Before I do, we are currently accepting applications for our digital marketing bootcamp Sky Accelerator. It is how Sky Society actually all got started was with this accelerator program where we help unemployed women get their first full-time job in marketing out of college by giving you real-world marketing experience. So if you feel like you're struggling to meet the qualifications for entry-level marketing jobs, and that's the biggest thing holding you back, you need to apply to this accelerator. We are halfway at capacity already, so make sure you go ahead and check it out on our website. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump right in on how to avoid scam marketing jobs. So we're typically familiar with the situation, right? You apply to a job, you're super excited, and you get an interview. And that is the absolute best feeling, especially when you've been applying to so many jobs and you finally hear back from someone and it's amazing. You're excited. And so the first thing that I want you to do is check the email that you're getting this interview request from, and make sure that it's from the same domain as the company. So for example, if you are applying to a job at Rare Beauty, you want to make sure that the email that you're getting is from @rarebeauty.com. And if it's from anything else, red flag. Okay, we're going to go through a couple red flags. That's number one. This is one I see a lot where it's actually just a scammer pretending to be a company. And sometimes they'll do it from jobs where you've applied to so many jobs, you don't even know which ones you've applied to. And so they will just make a fake one if they know that you're actively applying, and they'll email you from an email that actually isn't attached to a company. So go to the company website and make sure that the email is the same as the website. So that's step one for avoiding scam jobs. The second thing is to look at the job description. If it is very vague, like there's like really no details in there and it's just saying marketing coordinator and it's super vague, I'm going to make that a red flag. I'm not going to go too much into how to disqualify them before you even apply, because that's just going to take so much time. But if there's not a lot of the description isn't very detailed, go on Glassdoor, see if there's any reviews or people reporting scams, but that's just another red flag to keep in mind for. But let's go back to they've invited you to an interview. The other red flag is if they text you. So if they're exclusively texting you and they're not emailing you, red flag, that's not normal. All right, not normal. Don't be texting your interviewer. It should all be happening via email or LinkedIn Messenger. All right, another red flag is if you are applying or interviewing for a job and they immediately ask for a credit check. They say, hey, for this job, you're going to be having company credit cards. We need to make sure that your credit's good. Please go to this website and get a credit check. No. All right. Do not do this. I've seen this happen quite a lot, and you don't want to do that. That's a scam. There's no reason that you will ever have to do a credit check for a job, at least not for entry level, and definitely not before you've been hired. Okay. So we have red flags. They're texting you, they're asking for a credit check. They are using an email that's not actually from the same domain as the website. The other red flag is if they offer you the role after one interview. So it's super exciting, especially I know when you've been applying to jobs for so long and you do this phone screening or this interview and they offer you the role immediately. That is a major red flag. Any good company is going to want to interview you at least twice before offering you the role. And so definitely you want to double check if they're offering you the interview or offering you the role super quickly. That is not a good sign. Okay. So let's say these things happen to you and you're just, okay, I'm hitting these red flags, but how do I know for sure? So there's a couple questions you can ask in the interview process to clarify what the role is. So let's take a step back and talk about why this is happening. And so if you're applying to entry-level marketing jobs, you are one of just thousands and thousands and thousands of people. Everybody wants to work in marketing. You are a job seeker. You are new to this whole world of job applications, and you are easy prey. You are a vulnerable population. And so there are people that are either one, going to have jobs that don't even exist to try to get information from you, or two, have sales jobs disguised as marketing jobs that they're going to try to get you in. They call those like field marketing roles, where you think you're going to be a marketing coordinator and you actually end up selling phones at Walmart or something like that. And I've heard, all types of horror stories from this, but typically what they're taking advantage of is that you just aren't asking the right questions and you're not being able to identify the red flags. We've gone over the red flags, but these questions you're going to want to ask in the interview to make sure that this role is actually what it seems to be. So one, and the most important, is what will my day-to-day look like in this role? If they defer that question, or they say, we'll tell you more about that once you get hired, or we'll tell you more about that later, red flag. They should easily be able to give you an answer to this. And I've had students in Sky Accelerator where I tell them to ask this question and they're like, well, they wouldn't answer it directly. That's a no-no. They should absolutely be able to answer that question. So what will my day-to-day look like in this role? And the other question you can ask is, what does success look like in this role? Or what KPIs will I be measured by? Or what success metrics will I be measured by? But this is incredibly important, because if it's a sales job, then the success metrics you'll be measured by are sales. Very simple. So what will the day-to-day look like in this role? What does success look like in this role? And if you're still feeling like, I don't know if I have a good grasp on this, or I don't know, then that's red flag. Okay. I feel like your gut is probably telling you that, all right, they're texting me, they offer me the job right away, they're not answering these questions. Those are all red flags. And I promise you that there's going to be a job out there that's not going to make you doubt it this much. Okay. So questions to ask yourself if you're in the interview process and you're wondering, is this a scam job? So one, is the hiring process moving suspiciously fast? Did they ask you to interview immediately and then immediately give you a job offer? Two, are they asking for personal information, like a credit score or just anything other than your work history? Does the email match the domain of the actual company? Are they trying to interview you through text? And is what's being offered too good to be true? Okay. Use those questions to guide your job search. And again, you are a vulnerable population as a job seeker, as an entry-level job seeker. So please be careful. There are lots of marketing job scams out there. We have an incredible blog post on this written by one of my Sky Accelerator students, Jayla. You could check it out on our blog. I've also done a LinkedIn Live about this. And if you need more help or support, you should join our LinkedIn group, Sky Society Women in Marketing. As of now, there's well over 2,000 women in marketing in that group, and you could ask questions. And if you're unsure about a job, you could post it there. If you come across a scam job, you could post it there too, to warn other girls. I know this is something that makes the job search scary. I know it sucks when we get really excited about a job and it just turns out not to be what they said it would be. So I hope that you find this episode helpful. I hope that you'll keep an eye out for those red flags and you'll ask those questions in your next interview to clarify the role. And I guess that'll be it for this episode. So thanks again for listening. We release new episodes every Tuesday. And if you haven't already, definitely check out Sky Accelerator. If you're unemployed, looking for your first full-time job in marketing, and you feel like lack of experience is the biggest thing holding you back, this is our very last cohort of the year. We only do about 4 or 5 every year. So definitely go ahead and check that out. And that is it for today. And I'll catch you in our next episode.